Hi, writers. Okay, so today I am going to teach you session 4, making short nonfiction writing pack a punch. But before I do that, I want to remind you that you really, when you're in Google Classroom, really need to focus on the lesson and read the directions in Google Classroom. Some of you, I gave the directions in the video, I gave it in Google Classroom, then I gave them again in class. And some of you still were kind of missing some of the key elements of the directions of certain writing. So let's make sure we focus so we can get all of our points on our assignments and really learn how to be good investigative journalists. So today we are starting session 4. And just to get started, I want to talk about how some writers can mimic other writers and some artists mimic other artists. So I was watching an interview with Beyonce last night, and she was talking about who had influenced her the most, and she mentioned R&B singer Aretha Franklin. So I want you to listen to this song and kind of pay attention to the lyrics. Okay, so here's what Beyonce said about Aretha Franklin. She said that she admired a few techniques that Aretha used in her songs. One of them was that she gave the appearance that she's a strong woman and an independent woman, and obviously Beyonce's written several songs on that basis, that she gives advice to her audience, which is the listeners of her music. And then also that you make a chorus repetitive and memorable so that it sticks in someone's head. And that's kind of how you make a great single. So obviously Beyonce's done that. Now I want you to watch one of Beyonce's lyrics of one of Beyonce's songs. And I want you to think about how there are similarities, just like Beyonce talked about, that she's presenting herself as a strong woman, that she repeats her chorus over and over again so it gets stuck in your head, and that she gives advice to her listeners. So I want you to look for some of those characteristics that she learned from watching Aretha Franklin.
Can't be mad at me. 'Cause if you like a thing, you should
Okay, so can you hear it? Can you hear how Beyonce mimics some of those techniques that Aretha used? The truth is, almost everybody that we look up to, also when they were learning their skill or their craft, they looked up to somebody and they modeled some of their skills after them. So that's why good writers, we look at mentor texts, and we do that all the time in this class. We look at mentor texts on how to just different authors' craft and style of writing and how we could maybe imitate that, not plagiarize that, but imitate that to improve our own style of writing. Today I want to teach you that journalists know that nonfiction writing can be short but still pack a punch, just like our newscasts. They use specific techniques to make certain words, phrases, and lines lift the level of the whole piece. And one way to learn these techniques is from acknowledged masters. So we're going to look at authors that we think are really good, and we're going to imitate some of the things that they use. So I'm going to show you kind of a checklist, and then we're going to look at a mentor text, and then we're going to kind of identify in that mentor text some of the techniques that the author used. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so here's an anchor chart, which I've included in Google Classroom, on how to make short writing powerful. The suggestion is that you should include specific, vivid, physical details. Dare to use a single elegant word, which is what we're going to refer to as a grace note, in otherwise straightforward prose. We're going to end the passage with a delightful jolt, a clever ending, and we're going to keep it focused. It all has to be about what the story is really about. We don't want to get off on any tangents or kind of break off onto side stories. We want to keep our focus. So let's read a mentor text and see if this author was able to do this. Okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I used a version of this story in one of my other lessons, and I kind of made it my own and said that after Coach Borders had made basketball tryouts, that I witnessed a couple of girls arguing in the gym on who was going to be center for the basketball team. I kind of stole that idea from Lucy and kind of made it my own with people that you knew. But this is the mentor text that we're going to look at today to see how an author can do a short writing but really pack a punch. So here we go. Here is a mentor newscast. 3 students were seen fighting in the gym at School for Global Studies today over who would be chosen as the center during a class basketball game. The game was an opportunity for global star players to shine in the gym. That's not what happened, though. Instead, there was pandemonium. The students were girls from class 108, and each was a star player. Shannon was the tallest, Rachel was the fastest, Ruby was the fiercest. Each wanted that center spot. There's more than one forward in basketball. There's more than one guard, but there's only one center. To be center is to be the megastar. Witnesses at the event saw it go from bad to worse. First the girls talked about it, then they jumped for it, then they shoved for it, and then suddenly there were girls like puppies rolling on the floor trying to get the ball. Bystanders were kicked. The circle of girls around the players yelped. Coach Abrams' long arms reached for the back of the girls' jerseys. Abrams' decision was quick as she threw the girls out of the game. None of the 3 would play center today. Those stars had just imploded. Okay, so first we want to talk about how a writer can use specific details and vivid physical details. So right here we see in paragraph 3 that the author said that the girls were like puppies rolling around on the floor trying to get the ball. And the author said that Coach Abrams' long arms reached for the back of the girls' jerseys in the 3rd paragraph, which kind of gives us a visual specific detail. Now, an author also said to dare to use a single elegant word, a grace note. Sorry, the camera's shaking. It's hard for me to hold the camera and read. A grace note, which is a word that kind of jumps out in just an otherwise regular paragraph. And the grace note that this author uses was the word pandemonium. So notice how that was a really good word to use to kind of describe the situation. That's what we're going to call a grace note. The author also ended the passage with a delightful jolt, which is a clever ending. And it said right here, those stars had, right here at the bottom, the last sentence, those stars had just imploded. Kind of using a metaphor for the girls being stars. Okay, so today and every day after, I want you to remember that nonfiction writing can be short, but it needs to pack a punch, and that we can look at other authors as a mentor to our writing, and that specific techniques can really lift our level of writing, and we need to make sure that we're trying to always get better and do better. That's why we edit and revise, edit and revise. So today you're going to begin writing your newscast that you're going to publish for this class. So go ahead and get started.